right, so this presentation is going to be over a theoretical framework. We're going to be presenting systems and educational leadership theory. The presenters are going to be Jenny Jasper, Giovanni McKinney, and Sherry McClain. So systems theory was originally created to develop by Bertalanffy and Miller, and it would apply to the ideas of biological systems to organizational ones. In the mid-60s, Katz and Kahn took those theories and applied them to organizational and systems theory. And it is behavioral scientists who mostly use those systems for those purposes today.
So systems theory works to describe and explain how organizations work and accomplish their goals. It views organizations as living organisms that react to their environment. They are both interdependent and independent, and they work through an input, throughput, and output cycle, which we'll view in the graphic on the next slide. They also work on a feedback and interactive loop, which will be explained there as well. When an organization reaches what's called homeostasis, then they are considered to be the most effective because they are stable. This theory is used to explain the interactions within groups, the effectiveness of groups, and also the sustainability of organizational groups. As you can see on this next graphic, the circle is the system itself. The input is what goes into the organization or the system. The transformation process or the throughput is what the system does with that inputted information. And then it puts out something new, which is the output. And the entire time you've got a feedback loop that the environment is giving feedback to the system to sort through and help it to become better at its goal.
The next theory that we're looking at is the educational leadership theory, and it isn't just one theory, it's multiple theories. And these theories have mostly been derived from business management principles. And I just picked a few of the theories that we've talked about in this program and that we see more often today. And the first theory is the servant leadership theory. And the term was coined in 1970 by Robert Greenleaf, but obviously it's viewed as being one of the oldest leadership theories just based on Christ and his walk to serve people and to serve his followers. And then it has principles that were developed by Spears, the 10 characteristics of a servant leader that go with it that we'll see here on the next slide. And it has evolved throughout time, and it's becoming one of the more popular leadership styles in education today in terms of leadership. And then the next leadership theory that I put on here was transactional leadership. And this model was the term was coined in 1947 by Max Weber. And this theory is something that as time has gone on and today we're moving away from transactional leadership. It's not the most popular leadership theory out there today because it's based on people achieving their goals or doing their work and being successful based on the rewards or punishments that they would get to achieve that, to achieve success. And then the next theory was the transformational leadership theory. And that term was coined in 1978 by James Burns. And it is one of the ones that's taking the place of transactional leadership. And it's leading by encouraging people, encouraging them to be creative, motivating through encouragement. And then we have situational leadership. And that was started by Blanchard and Hersey in 1969. And this is the leadership theory that looks at each educational situation that a leader might be in, and you use certain traits or characteristics based on the situation that you're in and lead through that. And it's a leadership theory that we're using a lot today. Servant leadership, so this is the model. So there's servant leader behaviors that lead to the outcome. So like emotional healing, empathy, putting followers first, being ethical, empowering, and then that leads to some of the outcomes that we would want. So followers grow, they perform better, and the organization then performs better, and then there's societal impact, hopefully in a positive way. And then this graphic has transformational leadership and transactional leadership combined. And you can just see in transformational leadership, there's idealized influence, motivation, intellectual stimulation or creativity, and individualized consideration, and that leads to the performance expectations that a leader would want. And then transactional leadership is where you give reward or management by exception, and previously punishment possibly, and that leads to your expected outcomes or your performance expectations. And then in situational leadership, you use different ways of getting people to do what you need them to do. So delegating or supporting or coaching or directing, just based on your followers' behavior and based on the situation that you're in. And these are our resources that we used to get the information for our presentation today. Thank you.
Thanks.